Morning. So, I'm feeling quite good today. And, so I had this great hypnotherapy session the other day. I think it was like 2 days ago with Graham. And it was wonderful. And it made me feel really relaxed and calm. And then the last 2 nights I've been playing, like, I think I've got 12 of his session recordings. And then I've got some from Joe Vitale and I can't remember the guy's name. Dr. Steve G. Jones from the Ho'oponopono practitioner course that I did, the advanced Ho'oponopono practitioner course. So that came with some free hypnotherapy downloads and activation downloads and things. So I downloaded those. And there was a couple of sessions from, or meditations, recordings from my Reiki course that I did. So I downloaded those. I've got a scab in my head. Then I phoned up. I was looking for EMDR. So I had a mental health assessment yesterday. It's like an hour on the phone. And so they suggested that, you know, there's nothing available on NHS in terms of therapy, at least in Suffolk, which is where I am. So they suggested EMDR, which is to do with eye movement, desensitization and realization. I think something like that. I can't remember the exact what the abbreviation is for, but EMDR is a type of therapy, and they suggested that if obviously I'm paying privately, that it's a sort of short program, and you'd have a few sessions and then that's it. So I suppose rather than spending a lot of money over a long period of time, if it works, then it's something that's a short program. So I started looking up who we've got locally who can do EMDR, and I came across Carl Jones. And one of my friends was sat here, Skeet, and he said to me, "Oh, I know Carl Jones, he lives next door to me." And I said, "What, not your hypnotherapist?" And he said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, well, I've got Graham, my hypnotherapist." He said, "Well, why don't you give him a call?" So he gave me his number, and I phoned him up last night, and he's going to be coming around tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I had a small chat, wasn't on the phone long, he wants me to call him today. And he's ex-SAS, he's ex-police forces, Royal Protection or something. So he's worked in, you know, different roles with trauma survivors, you know, both with like women when he was in the police force, victims of various violent offences, and then also you know, as an ex-soldier with his colleagues with PTSD and things, and then as a hypnotherapist with trauma survivors. He's worked with the trauma and the abuse, and so he basically told me EMDR is a load of crap, it's a load of bullshit, it doesn't work, very rarely works. He said he can try it with me, but he's not a big believer in it, or a big promoter of it, but he does think that he can help me quite quickly with hypnotherapy, even though I've had like quite a bit of hypnotherapy with Graham. And you know, I'm at a point in my life where I need to give it a go, try whatever's available. He said he doesn't charge anybody if it doesn't work, so there's no harm in trying, because I'm only going to be paying if it does work, and you can't really put a price on healing, can you? So yeah, so he's coming around tomorrow morning at 10 a.m, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. And then last night, so I've got a friend on Facebook who he's quite well known. His name's John Christian. He's an actor and a singer, but he's also trained spiritually, around the world in, I think he said Tibet and, Taiwan and places like that. And so he does yoga and he does breathing and he does meditation, and he runs a company where he trains, I suppose, as like a mentorship type thing. I'm not sure if he uses NLP or other stuff, but he teaches singers and artists and actors and CEOs of companies and other people. I suppose it's like motivational, and gets them into sort of good routines and the practices in order to be successful in life. Well, anyway, at the moment he's doing free Zoom meetings for meditation and breathing practices. Pranayama. I can't remember the name of it. So I attended, it was 7:30 p.m. last night, at 7 p.m, 7:30 p.m. And I think we lasted about 3 hours in the end. But we did some, he talked about the history, the explanation of it, how it works with the energy and the chi and the prana and so on. And then we did a little bit of breathing practices, learning to breathe through, I suppose, down into our stomach, into our abdomen. And, you start off, you're doing in slow and out slow and in slow and out slow. And then when you get to a certain point, you do the pumping, which is like really fast, in and out, like puff it out and in and out, in, out. And then you do the holding the breath for as long as you can, and then slowly releasing, and then doing that a few times. And I literally felt high. I felt really high. But it wasn't 3 hours of doing meditation and breathing. It was a group chat, and we talked about some life experiences. We talked about spirituality. We talked about the divine. We talked about meaning and purpose, and also, I suppose, we're showing each other just full acceptance and love. And it was just a really enjoyable and informative meeting, and it made me feel very, very good. I was only attending because I used to have daily meditation practices, and I haven't been able to do it for a while since the stuff with my old therapist. And I just wanted to get back on track with just my meditation. I thought this would be attending a meditation and breathing practice on Zoom would just give me a little bit of inspiration to get back on track and just get on with my routine again. And instead it achieved like way beyond that I couldn't have imagined, where I've come away just feeling like loved, accepted, confident, a new thirst for life, self-empowered, truly heard. Because for many years I felt misheard, misunderstood, like nobody really wants to hear me and listen. They want me to shut up, I talk too much. But I didn't feel like that in any way in this meeting by John or by the other people in the meeting. I felt like they really wanted to hear me. Like, not just humour me either, but like they really wanted to hear what I had to say. And enjoyed listening to me, and felt like they'd benefited from listening to me too, and appreciated me talking, and that felt really good. So I did that. That was like 7 o'clock, and I don't think or 7:30. I don't think we got out that meeting until about 10:30, maybe later at night. And I got out starving. Like, I've just found recently, really weirdly, that like if I have a hypnotherapy session, if it's been a really good one, or a really good meditation session, or breathing practices, I just feel so hungry when I come out. I suppose that is like the movement of energy around you. I'm pretty sedentary because of my disabilities, and yeah, I feel like I had a complete workout just from doing the breathing exercises. And I'm also learning about like body work elsewhere, and I'm seeing sort of that link between them, and also that golden thread that goes between what John was talking about with the prana and things, but also what I've been reading about with Huna, the ancient Hawaiian culture and shamanism, and that's all about the breath. And Reiki, you know, it talks about the breath as the life force as well. And like, I suppose you can see this golden thread between a lot of ancient cultures, that when we talk about God or the divine or whatever, it all comes down, when you look at the original translations, it all comes down to the breath and the life force and the energy. And also when I was looking at like the body work, I'm looking at, I mean, they believe like our emotions is all connected to our lymphatic system. And I say believe, it's more of a scientific proven fact on that, because obviously we have emotions, it creates energy, and that energy releases certain chemicals or hormones or whatever, and they can block certain lymphs and the parts of the lymphatic system, which then manifests as physical conditions. And so when we learn to express when we clear the lymph, you know, that's the first thing you need to do is clear the lymphatic system. And then once that's done and you've got that energy moving, and through exercise as well, which obviously I'm not very good at, but I have been doing my mudras again. I did today. It was a really hard one today. I'll talk about that in a moment. But once we've cleared all that, and then we can maintain, you know, healthy diet and exercise to help keep the lymphatic system clean and clear, but also being very mindful of the emotions we have and how we use them. So it's not that we shouldn't have the emotions, we absolutely should. And it's by telling ourselves that we shouldn't that we then repress them, and then that causes the blockages. But if in fact we acknowledge our emotions and learn how to express them in healthy ways, I mean, that's where we need to be at. So not being reactive, not being aggressive, not being hateful or bitter, but also not repressing it all so that you know, you're almost emotionless, but having that healthy balance of recognizing and validating your emotions and expressing them in positive, healthy ways, and being assertive and letting people know how you feel, talking about it, writing about it, whatever, getting it out there, without causing harm and damage, which then would obviously escalate your emotions and end up with a bad cycle. So that keeps, you know, through the eating, the exercise, the breathing exercises, and expressing those emotions in healthy ways, getting them out there, it keeps your lymphatic system clear and not getting blocked. And so there are physical. So obviously it shows how somatic illnesses might work. It also shows why things like stress can impact your cardiac system, or even your kidney and your liver functions, or your intestinal, digestive tract, because it's creating all those blocked areas. And it's really interesting to read about and make sense. Like, it just, I'm reading it, I'm thinking, yeah, obvious. Why didn't we know this? Why didn't I know this? Really obvious. So obviously I'm not very mobile. I've got my disabilities, so I was doing my mudras, and then I stopped for a while because of the stuff with Martin. And I thought, I'm gonna, you know, after yesterday's meditation, I thought, sod it, I'm gonna do my meditation, because I can combine that with Reiki, and I can also combine it with the pranayama, breathing exercises, and with meditation. So, and also the music in the background, I think, is my singing bowls or gongs, I don't know, whatever. So this morning's one was like right at the top of the pack. Normally I'd like shuffle the pack, split the pack, pick random card, but this was just sitting on the top, and I hadn't seen this one before. I'm going to probably get the pronunciation wrong, but it says Swadhisthana Mudra, Swadhisthana, Swadhisthana Mudra, which is a sacral chakra gesture. It's out of the water mudras, which is to do with enhancing health and equipping you to move forwards, which I thought was very appropriate. And the affirmations go with it is, as I hold this mudra, which is the mudra is your hand positions. It's like a yogic hand positions, and it changes the energy and the chi within the body through using a specific hand gesture. As I hold this mudra, I feel more comfortable in my body and know my dreams can become a reality. And I just thought, how perfect for today was that card, just to be sitting there right at the top of the pack. I'm going to show you it. It's a really, I'm going to try and get the glare off a bit. So it's a really difficult one to do. Like, you have to start off with joining your index fingers and your forefingers, middle finger and index finger, sorry. And then, so they're like sat together, and then you wrap the middle finger over your index finger to touch your thumbs that are together. And then you cross your little finger, or slightly bend and cross your little finger and your ring finger. They get on either hand, touch each other, and then slightly cross over the other hand. And then you have to bring your index finger to touch with those fingers, whilst bringing your forefinger down to touch with your thumbs. And if you want to give it a go, it's really, really hard to do. But luckily, I mean, just say about they've got some hand exercises in there as well to increase your flexibility with your fingers. But I'm quite lucky in that I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility. So without having done any exercises, I could bend my fingers in all those weird ways. And so I managed to get my hand in that position. I couldn't keep it there long because it was a bit sore. But, you know, it says to start off with 3 minutes. I probably managed about a minute. But I did a minute with my breathing exercises and that mudra, and visualised my Reiki symbols, both the opening start symbols and my master symbol, which is for healing, obviously, and harmony and balance and moving forwards and all that. So combining that mudra and the chi and the breathing, because I did my pranayama breathing exercises at the same time. I'd already done a few beforehand as well for a good 10-15 minutes, and then there was that minute with that. And with my music in the background. So I'm feeling very well. I text Carl this morning saying, can you overdose on hypnotherapy? Because I've downloaded all these hypnotherapy sessions and put it on a playlist. There's about 17 of them, and I ran them on repeat through the night, woke up in the morning with them still playing, and I literally feel like I'm on drugs. I feel so high. I feel like I've snorted a whole bunch of speed or cocaine or amphetamines or something, and I don't do drugs, so I haven't touched anything. And like, I don't even take my prescribed medication. I'm so bad. But and you probably notice from the difference in my speech between, say, you know, a couple of days ago and now, in terms of, like, I'm just speaking really fast. I don't know if you can feel the energy that's going on. I feel more positive today. I had a letter from my old therapist insurers saying that I've undermined mediation with him by reporting to the police and HCPC. I didn't actually report to the police. That was Mind reported safeguarding to MASH team, and MASH team reported to the police. I didn't want to. I made it clear that I didn't want to. I've even got an email from them saying, obviously, you didn't want to be involved in a police investigation. However, you know, you agreed with us that it's something we've got to do. You agreed to forward the MASH team the emails, which I did. But police haven't been in touch with me because obviously I stated that I don't want to be involved in an investigation. And obviously I don't know where they are with that. I don't know if they've just filed a report in case somebody else complains. I don't know if they're investigating without me. I don't know. You know, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they'll arrest him. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about what's going to happen with a police investigation or police report. But obviously I was not as such involved in that. I didn't report to Mind. A friend of mine did, you know, a week earlier without my knowledge, and then she told me a week later because she was feeling guilty that she hadn't told me, and they'd said to her they have to report it to MASH, and she was scared to tell me. And yeah, I'm fine with her because I know that she was concerned about me, because I stayed at hers after my overdose. She was with me when I was waiting to die, in fact, here. I was at hers when I got rushed to hospital on the Tuesday, and I went back to hers when I was discharged on the Thursday. So, you know, I'm absolutely fine that she cared and she was concerned, and she spoke to the person that she felt would be able to support her and maybe support me too. And obviously they took it very seriously and had safeguarding concerns and referred to MASH team, as they are meant to as professionals. And MASH team contacted me and asked me if I could at least send them the emails so that they could forward it to the police. They were going to report to the police whether I sent the emails or not. And I know that if the police did an investigation, they could contact my old therapist, or they could contact HCPC, who already had the emails. So they were going to get hold of those emails anyway. And it took me all day and all night, and eventually it was about 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, fuck it, I've got no choice. Well, I mean, I've got a choice, but they're going to get them anyway. All I'm going to do is delay things and drag it out. And from my own perspective, you know, I'm already worried about a HCP investigation that could potentially last a year. And if I can't stop an investigation, then I'd much rather speed it up and have it over with. Because, you know, I've been through enough in my life that's been dragged out. I want some peace. I want some time where I'm not in some kind of investigation or in some kind of battle with anybody. I want a bit of time where I've got peace. So it just, you know, it logically felt better to send those emails to the lady from the MASH team before the police got hold of me, and just let her forward those to the police and do what they want with them. But anyway, so they've said I've undermined that. I pointed out that I believe that mediation, you know, they said they can't have any more communication with me, so they're probably not going to reply. But I did say send an email just explaining that I would you know, I respectfully disagree. I believe that any investigation would be more sympathetic towards Martin if he shows awareness of his actions, awareness of the harm that he's caused, recognition, validation, or whatever of that. And if he was, you know, showing that he was willing and wanting to help me recover and heal from the trauma he caused me. You know, I pointed out that there was a lot of evidence, written evidence. They don't know what's happened. I don't know if he's told them, but I haven't. But I pointed out that there's a lot of written evidence that's pretty damning. And, you know, the HCPC and police are doing an investigation, but, you know, I pointed out that mediation, you know, if I believed he was remorseful and I believed that he wasn't going to do it again, if I believed that he hadn't done it to other people, or that, you know, like if he's not remorseful and he's not self-aware, then, you know, that extends my suffering, but it also makes him dangerous, makes him a risk to others. And you know, if mediation, he could sit there and convince me that there's nothing for me to be worried about, and he could help me with my healing. And if he could do that, then that could avoid anything escalating. In terms of, I've made the point that, you know, if he can't resolve it with me, and he can't bring me the resolution that I'm hoping for, or make reparations, and I don't believe that he's sorry, and I believe that he might be a risk to others and he's dangerous, then I'm left with no choice but to go into litigation and sue him. And then he'll be responsible for the court costs and the legal fees, you know. And my solicitor is like, I think she's about £350 an hour. So, you know, if that was say a year long before it got to court, with, you know, various correspondence between my solicitor and his solicitor, or his legal team, or whatever, or their legal team, insurance company or whatever, you're talking about a lot of money over a year. And then going to court, you've got to pay the court costs, and, you know, and he'd be responsible for all of that. So they'd have to pay out a lot more money. And if they put me through another year of this level of distress, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to be claiming the damages for that year of distress, as well as the distress and harm that he caused through what he's done, plus the year he's wasted on, that I've wasted on therapy with him, and the money I spent on the therapy with him, and the fact that I feel like he's undone the 3 years of DBT therapy I had before I met him. Yeah, it's all fucking undone. I can't even use my DBT skills without being reminded of him and triggered by him. Triggered by the skills. So I cannot use the DBT therapy that I spent 3 years learning and the last 6 years using. So I feel like, if we're talking about reparations in court, I would be wanting money that covers my 3 wasted years of DBT therapy, the year wasted with him, and the year in the future of potential another year of therapy, which, might not be long enough, but I'd want, that's the least I'd want from him if it got to court. Whereas potentially he could fix this in mediation without me wanting any money from him. And if I did want money, just my money back from what I paid him. So, you're potentially talking, and I did get some advice, and we're potentially talking like in court, anything from like £50,000 to £80,000, which, I don't feel is proportionate at this point if we can go into mediation and resolve. But if I get put through a year-long case and a year-long fight and battle, and further evidence to me that he doesn't care about what he's done, which is just continues to cause me more harm and suffering. It's more, the ignorance, the ignoring me, the denial of his silence is continued trauma. To know what he's done to me and know that it's still doing it to me without wanting to try to put that right. He could put me through a year-long fucking investigation when I'm the damn victim. So, no. Then he's got all that as damages to cover too. And like I say, where he could potentially meet up with me with a mediator in the room and get this sorted straight away. But his insurance company are telling him not to. Like, they don't sound like very good insurers or very good legal advice to me. Because even if they don't give a shit about me, and even if they don't give a shit about the suffering that is being caused to me or has been caused to me as well, even if they don't care about that, surely they'd be looking to protect him from litigation. What, it doesn't matter because he's, if he gets arrested, if he gets prosecuted, if he loses his licence to practice, then nothing else matters. Well, I think you'll find there's 2 other things that matter. One is what I'm continuing to be put through and the increasing costs of that. To my mental health, to my finances. And if they think that, they probably think, oh, well, she signed up for Dignitas, she won't make it to court. I'll tell you what, I'll fucking make it. I will make damn sure I do. You can drag it out for 5 years. I'd rather be going to Dignitas in the next 16 months when I have it planned in my head. But if you start a fight with me and you force me to go to court and you show no care or concern for the suffering that I'm being put through, I'm bloody minded enough that I will stay alive just to make sure I win that case. And the longer you put me through it, the more I guarantee you will be expected to pay for dragging out my suffering, forcing me to stay alive longer than I'd hoped to, in order to, my physical suffering as well. I'm bloody minded enough to do it. So don't think that by dragging it out, don't worry because she'll be off to Dignitas soon. And then there's no court case, there's no litigation, because I will stick around just to get to court. And if you make me do that, there'll be no negotiating, there will be no settlement. You could offer me £200,000 a day before court and I will still make you go into court. Because you dragged it out and you caused me more suffering. Because I won't believe you have any genuine remorse which is all I actually wanted from the start. For you to be aware of what you'd done, aware of you being in the wrong, your mistakes, accountability and responsibility. You keep talking about accountability in your damn fucking videos, your acceptance and commitment therapy. Where's your fucking accountability, Martin? Where's your values, Martin? Where are your values? Talk about that pull. Your internal values, or the pull towards the future and the choices you make based on your value system. Well, where are your values? Why does it not matter to you? And you maybe you're sat there focusing on just one email and you didn't mean any harm by it. You caused harm. And when I told you you had, and I asked you to accept that you had crossed professional boundaries, codes of conduct, you told me, oh, I think it's a bit risky, but I don't think I crossed any professional boundaries. You clearly fucking did, because it's in your codes of conduct. So you were wrong. I was not wrong, you were wrong. But it's not even just about that anymore, because that could have been easily fucking resolved, and instead you abused me, you gaslighted me. And the hurt is more in what you did after that email. You would have let me die. And not just let me die as in like go to Dignitas and I die peacefully. You would have let me die in distress and alone. In pain with conflict. Hurt and abandoned. Hating myself because of you. Calling me a black widow, and then you laugh it off as though it was just a joke. When I'm not stupid. When it's clear what the intent is, and the intent is to, you know, the terminology you used might have been jokingly because it's, you know, context in connection to me collecting spiders or whatever and liking spiders. But it's the meaning behind the term Black Widow, because the Black Widow is a predator. She's a seductress or whatever. That's how we see them. They lure the male in. The female's fault. And then you said caught in my web. Joking aside, there's a lot of meaning behind that. And you're very skilled in your use of words. And saying, and you know, you referred to me as being seductive. That I make you go against your better judgment. It's all blaming me. All blaming me. But did I really seduce you? Did I make a play for you? No. Did I ever turn up in sexy clothes trying to seduce you and lure you in? Never made a move on you. Never. And I never used seductive language. So, you know, that was your projection. What's going on in your mind? That was your projections on your perception, and your perception is based on your projections. Your perception is based on your thoughts. But you won't take accountability, you won't take responsibility, and now you're insurers. Oh. What a fucking ridiculous world that you all live in. With no values and no humanity. Fucking cold and calculated. You know, where is the humanity? It's all fucking business, is it? Oh, another fucking day in your job. You know, fuck Sam. Your people don't matter, do they, Martin? Real people, real lives don't matter, do they? It's just business. In your cold, calculated world that you sit there and give fucking lectures and interviews about compassion and kindness and values and accountability. But it's all bullshit and meaningless. Isn't it? Because you don't walk the walk. You don't walk the walk, Martin. Anyway, I'm not going to fucking cry. I'm not going to cry any more tears for you. Not at all. Not another fucking tear for you. Yeah, I know you can see a tear in my eye, but it hasn't fucking dropped, and it won't because I'll wipe it away. Because I will make you into nothing in my head. I will make you into the meaningless, insignificant person that you've made me. I'll do my work on myself. I'll do my own healing on myself, because I could never, ever expect an unkind, cruel, cold, heartless, incompassionate being like you to ever help me heal with some easy fucking words that could have come from your mouth. Yeah, how hard is it to say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake and I'm sorry and I didn't want to hurt you? How hard would that have been? How hard? And you won't. You won't. Because all any of your clients are to you is business. You show the fake kindness and the fake compassion, but it's all limited and conditional to them mirroring and reflecting it back to you. And if you make a mistake, or if anybody gets upset with you, any slight against you, you destroy them. You destroy them. And if that sends them over the edge and they kill themselves, you won't even have a guilty conscience. You feel nothing. And just cold. Cold and calculated. And you know what you're doing. And your feigned ignorance, and it is feigned, is bullshit. You knew the second you sent that email. You knew before you sent that email. You knew as you were typing that email that you were wrong and over professional boundaries and breaking the code of conduct. Whether you knew the impact it would have on me, I don't know. But you knew you were wrong. And then afterwards, when you were gaslighting me, you knew what you were doing. And even when you knew the impact that gaslighting was having on me, you carried on knowing the impact it was having on me and knowing that you were the one in the wrong. Yet you just kept going. You didn't care what it was doing to me. All that mattered was you. You just sit there for a moment, Martin, and imagine what would have happened if you just said sorry and held your hands up. Imagine how different things would be right now for both of us. So, and even now, imagine how different things could be in the future if you still stepped up now. If you stepped up now, what would happen? What's the worst thing that could happen by you stepping up as a man with real values and self-accountability? What would happen? But, think about what's going to happen when you carry on the way you are right now, ignoring and denying. What's going to happen if you carry on the way you are? Because it's not effective, is it? It's not effective for you, and it's not effective for me. It's not going to help us. Both of our worlds are spinning out of control, or going to spin out of control. And if that's how you enjoy living and that's what you want, and fine. But you talk about positive action, not just sitting back and let it all happen to you. Talk about positive action. So why don't you take some positive action and do something about this? Because you're making it complicated. You're making it complicated when it's just something really simple. You do the right thing. Listen to your inner values and do the right thing. That's simplifying it. Instead of fighting it and resisting it and but I'm going to carry on doing my work on myself and my hypnotherapy and my mudras and my meditation. And as you can see, I managed to talk a whole video, even talking about the stuff that normally triggers me and makes me cry, and I've not cried. I had some tears welling up at one point, and then I think they've all gone, they've dried now, so I'm good. They didn't fall. And I refuse to cry anymore over him, but if I do, I refuse to let him see it. He doesn't deserve my tears anymore. He doesn't deserve anything from me. And yet I still give the unconditional love, because I can be angry and still love somebody. I can be upset with somebody and still love somebody. I can see their faults and still love somebody. I'm not... that's what unconditional love is. Unconditional love isn't being blinded and illusioned or delusioned and thinking this person is perfect and they've got no faults and loving them for this illusion. Unconditional love is loving somebody despite the faults. And I'm angry and I'm upset and I'm hurt. But I'm never going to stop loving. I love everybody and I always will do no matter what. And I think it's frustrating because Martin saw that in me for other people. And I think he didn't believe that. He didn't believe, he felt wounded when I got upset with him and lashed out and pushed away because of his own fear. And that reminded him of his mother or whatever. Yet I'm able to be emotional, passionate, angry and hurt and upset and disappointed and still love somebody and still listen and still see. So all those fears that you have of other people finding out who you are underneath and inside, and that you're not the mask you wear. It doesn't matter to me. I have my own needs too. And as much as I care about you and I love you and you forced me to put you first and put your needs first, my needs count too, my needs matter too. And you've not shown me the same unconditional love, the same acceptance, the same care, consideration, concern that I show you. And I guess I'm used to that in my life. I'm used to that in my life. Because I don't think I've ever had anybody that's shown non-judgmental, unconditional love and acceptance to me. That loves me even when I'm the worst person on the planet to them. No one's ever shown me that. But yet I show everybody else that. I've forgiven and loved my rapists and my abusers and the people that have beaten me and trampled over me and used me and taken advantage of me and exploited me. And I've forgiven them and still loved them. And I know that I'm never going to experience the same kind of love for me that I give to other people before I die. I know I won't. And that kind of hurts a lot. But at the same time, I know that's not my meaning and purpose. I know that's not why I'm here. It's not why I'm alive, to experience it. I'm only alive for what I give out and what I do. I'm not here to get anything back. I can recognise it hurts at the same time as knowing that in terms of the grand scheme of things, my life purpose and meaning, that we're here to give and not receive. Even when we want to receive and we feel like we need to receive, that's not why we're here. So I have done and continue to do what my life path is, my life meaning and purpose. I'm here and I've done it, and I'll continue doing it until I eventually am dead. And not gonna cry. Not gonna cry. It's scary. It's scary knowing what your life path is when that life path almost completely misses all of your own needs and your desires and your dreams and your wishes. It's almost when that pull of your values almost removes joy and happiness and stuff from your life. And watching his interview about going up the mountain, and if your values were to take everything in and have the adventure, then at least you've had some happiness on the way, even if you don't make it to the top. But if you feel like your purpose is just, or your mission is just to get to the top, and you go as quick as you can and you don't take everything in, but What if your values, and it's still value-based, life meaning and life purpose is to be here to learn certain lessons that aren't pleasant to learn, of self-improvement and spiritual growth that are, again, hard lessons, hard things to do, hard journeys to make. And to be kind and compassionate and loving to other people, to help heal other people as a light worker. And you struggle with doing that for yourself, and you don't get that from other people. Again, that's hard. You use your energy, you exert your energy for others, and you feel unsuccessful when you try it on yourself. And when you've lost the things that were important, not gonna cry. One video without crying, come on, Sam. When you've lost the things that were important to you, the things that did bring you happiness and joy. Not gonna cry, not gonna cry, not gonna cry. I'm smiling, it's fine. I'm smiling. Fuck off. I'm fine, by the way. Have a drink. So, I'm not saying I've not had joy and happiness along the way. I've had some great friendships and 5 beautiful children. I wish I could just project over to you all, like, just the images of my children and the emotions and feelings and love and pride and my children are the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And, oh fuck. Anyone that meets my children will know how awesome and amazing they are, and psychological assessment once said that I exaggerate their qualities, and I really don't. And everybody that meets them says the same. So my admiration of my children is not exaggerated. My admiration of my children is like spot on. Whether it's because I've been a successful mother, whether it's chance or luck, divine intervention, I don't know. Because I think I screwed up a lot as a mum. But, like a lot, a fucking lot. And yet they still turned out fucking beautiful and just the best human beings. And that isn't just a biased mother's opinion. That's everybody that meets my children. And anyone that has my children in their life are blessed. And you know, I know that even with the heartache of losing them, I know I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed. And I couldn't be more grateful to whatever, if there is any powers that be, or the universe, or, you know, I couldn't be more blessed. And I was lucky to have had the time I had with them. I was lucky. I was lucky and blessed. I don't regret anything. I don't regret anything. And even if I didn't get another day with them, I wouldn't regret the days that I had. And I still feel lucky and blessed. I still feel lucky and blessed. And it was still worth every ounce of grief and pain that I now feel. Still worth it. Oh God. Oh, I should have quit this video like 40 minutes ago when I was ahead of the game and not crying. I thought I'd made it. Thought I'd finally done a video without crying. The next one. Challenge next time. So, yeah, there's positives and there's negatives, and I try to take the lessons from the negatives, and if I did a general overview of my life, I could sit here and reel off positives and negatives, and most people would hear it and feel bad for me and be like, poor woman with a poor life. But I still consider myself lucky. I don't consider myself misfortunate, because I've had so many blessings in my life, and because there's lessons from all the bad. So, you know, there's lessons even in our sadness and our pain, and so many lessons. Like, if I sat here and talked to you about every lesson in, say, one sad moment that I have, there's so many lessons, way more lessons than the sadness itself. So, yeah, we're blessed. We're all blessed. We're all blessed. Even Martin. And so I'm gonna sign off, not crying. I only had one brief moment, so it's not active crying, it was just sitting there, so I'm getting rid of that so you can see I'm not crying, look. dry. Totally dry. Nothing in my eyes, nothing coming. Totally dry. And I'm fine. And, I'm going to keep focusing on how blessed I am. Because nobody will ever take that away from me. No matter what. No matter what.